Roses are red, violets are blue. You can win an EMF detector and be free of ghosts too. You're listening to Our Different Take, episode 29. Welcome to Our Different Take. My name is Brian, proud father of two awesome boys, Jedi podcaster. This is The Way. And to my left is Scott. Oh, welcome, Scott.
My name is Scott. I'm so glad to be here. I am from the Republic of Texas, interested in conspiracy theories, the paranormal, the spiritual, talking hot dogs, alternative health, and most other things that people think are weird. Glad to be here. Excited for a Weird News Wednesday podcast.
Yes, and we have some weird news for sure. But we're doing something a little different this week. Normally, we each have a story and we talk about it. But this week, we're both going to have two stories to talk about. One story is going to be true, and one story is going to be false. And in conjunction to that, we're going to run a contest on Instagram. So you need to be on our Instagram page in order to win. And here is the criteria in order to win. So once the episode 29 post goes up that the podcast has been released, you have to be the first one to reply to that post on Instagram and have the correct answer for which story is false and which story is true for both me and Scott. And you have to have it right for both of us. You must also tag a friend in your post because they'll want to see the greatness that you are when you post on our Instagram page.
Definitely will. They definitely will.
Yes. So
this will make you famous, and it'll make all the ladies love you. And
it's true.
Unless you don't want ladies to love you, then it'll make all the whatever you want to love you.
That's right. That's right. We don't judge here. You can be loved by, I guess, whatever you want to be loved by.
Especially considering one of the news articles that we have for you tonight.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Be open-minded throughout this.
Definitely be open-minded.
So what we have an actual prize for this contest that we're going to give away, and it is an EMF protector. So first of all, Our Different Take, we do not claim that this prize works as intended. We haven't tested it, but we have partnered with a company called Nano Radiation Tech to give this away.
Wait a minute. We should probably tell people what EMF is. It's like an extra magnetic Frankfurter.
Yeah, we're giving away a magnetic Frankfurter.
I mean, I don't know if that's what it is or not. It just seemed like that's probably what those letters meant. What does EMF mean if it's not an extra magnetic Frankfurter? Well, like that would make a good refrigerator magnet.
Ridiculous. All right. Well, let me get into that. Let me tell you.
Okay. Thank you, Brian. Thank you for telling us. What is that?
Well, let me go back. So we don't claim that this prize actually works as intended. We have not tested it, but we have partnered with Nano Radiation Tech, which is the company, to give this away. I'll let you know kind of what it does. So it's an EMF protector. What it is, it's a small chip, and it looks like it's gold in color. Now, it's not gold, but it's gold in color. The chip is a little bit smaller than a quarter. And this chip absorbs and transfers electromagnetic radiation waves using special material that it's made out of. And it can reduce your mobile phone radiation by up to 97%.
Now, if it does that, does that mean that your mobile phone will not work as well around this thing?
Well, au contraire, mon frère. Because not only does it protect you from the radiation from your phone, but it's supposed to double your mobile phone battery life and improves your battery recovery.
Huh.
This little coin looking thing, you can stick it on your phone and you'll be safer from using your cell phone with this.
So, whoever wins this, we want you to test it out and get back with us. And if it works as advertised, then we will promote the fool out of this thing
We do. We will.
because, especially with 5G out now, I know that's like a conspiracy thing, but I tend to kind of believe that conspiracy theory. Actually, I don't really think it's a conspiracy theory. 5G radiation is is harmful. They're telling us. So, if this will help with protecting us from EMF, like extramagnetic frankfurters, then we're interested. We want to know, and you too, dear listener, can be the owner of this device
It's true.
by answering our questions correctly.
We've got 2 to give away. We're going to give away one now with this contest and then one associated with our year anniversary, which is coming up pretty quick as well.
What is the first year anniversary? What do you give for the first year anniversary?
Well, we talked a little bit about that on the last podcast, and it was wood. Yeah, you give away wood first year. Second year's paper or something like that. Well, if anyone wants to give wood, they can give it to Scott. So
I don't
yeah,
want. I don't want your. I
I'm
don't
not,
want your wood.
it's up to the listeners, not me.
Okay. Well, send your text messages with pictures of your wood to Brian.
What the? I'm editing that out for sure. Hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Disclaimer. I have to say this disclaimer for Instagram
yes.
since this is
Okay.
only going to be on Instagram, not on any of our other social media. So, per Instagram rules, this promotion is in no way sponsored, administered, or associated with Instagram Incorporated. By entering, entrants confirm that they are 13 plus years of age, release Instagram of responsibility, and agree to Instagram's terms of use. There you go. Now we're legal.
Okay. All right. Thanks for the lawyers there.
Yes. All right. So we'll get into our stories. One of these is a true story, one is false, but it's up to you to determine what it is. Don't cheat and Google this stuff. The first story I've entitled The Toaster.
Hmm. All right.
June 1988. No, it wasn't in June. That's a lady's name.
June
Sorry.
was in 1988. Okay.
1988. June O'Brien is her name.
O'Brien, any relation to you?
No, none at all. Not that I know of, anyway.
Okay.
She said that her toaster was haunted. She asked a reporter, right? She asked a reporter to come and take a look at it. So a reporter went to her house. She took him to her kitchen table, and the toaster was sitting on the table.
Who puts her toaster on a kitchen table?
Well, for this interview, the toaster was part of the interview, so it had to be presented properly.
Okay.
On the kitchen table.
Yes.
So the toaster, it looked like a basic toaster. It was silver. The sides were silver. The front was white. The back was white. It had one black knob on the front that you push down. Your basic toaster from the 80s. Nothing special. And she stated that, when you look at the toaster, you'll see if it's a normal 2-slice toaster, one side always says for one slice only. So that's where if you're doing only one piece of toast, then you put it in the one side only.
Okay.
So she stated that where it said on the toaster, where you put one slice, she heard the words, "I am the devil," came out of that side of the toaster.
I am the devil. So
I am the devil.
The devil's in the bread toasting business now.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Which makes sense, right? It's fire anyway.
Oh, well,
be able
yeah.
to toast pretty good.
That's true. Okay.
Right.
Go ahead.
So the reporter asked her, well, what kind of voice did the devil have? And she said, well, he had a very low voice. Very low voice.
Hmm.
And the reporter's like, well, have you saved any of this satanic toast? And she said, of course. So she leans over and she grabs this toast that's on a plate and holds it up, and it's a charred piece of black toast with the words "Satan lives" on the side of it.
If I got a piece of toast out of my toaster that said Satan lives on it and it was charred black, I might be concerned. I
I
don't know
would
that
be a little concerned.
I probably wouldn't call a reporter, though. I'd probably just take the toaster and, I don't know, throw it off a cliff or something, maybe
Yeah,
into a lake.
probably. Well, the reporter then asked her after seeing that toast that had the word Satan lives on the side of it. So the toast is completely black, and the words Satan lives are scratched into it. So June, which is the lady,
Yes.
the reporter asked her, well, is the toaster still possessed? And June said, well, we have problems with it every now and then. And there's a loaf of bread sitting in front of her. So she grabs a piece of bread, drops it into the toaster, and she started to pull the lever down, but it didn't really work very good. Super hard. It took her 4 or 5 tries to get the lever down, to get the bread down in there. And she almost has to slam the lever down all the way to get the bread down there. And she says, well, this seems to be a winner. And you're
Seems
like,
to be a
okay.
winner.
Yeah, it seems to be a winner. About a second and a half after that, the toaster belches fire about 2 feet out of the toaster. You can see this
Damn.
flame just go like way out of the toaster. And she's like, see, look at it. Look at it. And the reporter's like, well, why in the world have you kept this toaster? And she looks at him calmly and she says, well, Richard, when all is said and done, it makes pretty good toast.
All right. Now, I don't know what your preference in toast is, but I don't prefer mine to be black charred with the word Satan lives on it. I suppose to each his own,
Right.
right? How do you like your toast?
Not burnt like that. This will be a shocker. I did buy a Darth Vader toaster.
Really?
Yeah, it's a Darth
So
Vader helmet, and it makes toast, and it'll burn the word Star Wars into the side of the toast.
I bet that toast comes out a little on the dark side.
It does. In fact, the dial on the back where you can get it darker or lighter is the dark
Uh,
side or the light side.
wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's just great.
So I made one piece and then I put it in with the rest of my stuff. I don't prefer the burnt satanic toast is bad.
Huh. Okay, okay. Well, so she kept the toaster. It makes good toast.
Obviously, it makes good toast, so you might as well keep it, whether it's satanic or not. Uh, and apparently,
Did
it
they
makes it
attempt
really fast.
did they attempt a toaster exorcism?
Mm, no, that was
No?
the end of the story.
Huh.
I don't ever know what happened to June. Poor June
I suppose
O'Brien. But
if they did exercise the toaster, I suppose the toast probably wouldn't be that good anymore.
you'd ruin it. Really?
Huh.
Why ruin a good thing?
Oh, okay then.
All
All
right.
right. So
So that's story number 1.
okay.
Story number 2 is entitled The Exorcism.
Bum bum bum.
Boom, boom, boom. So this is 1990 in Spain.
Man, we got some. We're going back into the retro news here with your stories today.
We are. Retro is the best. So in 1990, there's the parents of a 9-year-old girl. Actually, I don't know if they lived in Spain, but they went to Spain to visit this priest. And this little 9-year-old girl seemed perfectly normal, out playing, super happy, until March 21st. That's when she tried to stab her parents with a knife, and she seemed to all of a sudden possess superhuman strength, crazy strong.
Oh, March 21st, that's the equinox. So, I mean, that makes complete sense.
Oh, I guess so. Right?
Okay. Yes.
Good job.
So,
On top of trying to stab her parents with a knife, She strangled her cat.
Uh,
She got a broken bottle and tried to slash a schoolmate with it.
dude.
Yeah. And the priest said that she was definitely possessed and needed to do an exorcism. So that's why they probably went to Spain, because the priest that they went to had a lot of experience doing exorcisms. He knew what he was doing.
Did he possess a toaster?
No, there was something in this story about him and a waffle maker, but it didn't go into depth with that. Maybe he was the
Okay.
cook for the monastery. I don't know.
It's probably, it had to be an angel food cake. Waffles. That would actually be a pretty good waffle, wouldn't it? An angel food cake waffle?
An angel food cake waffle?
Yeah, like a Belgian waffle, except made with angel food cake.
Huh.
Be light and fluffy and
Would that work?
strawberries and whipped cream. Oh my God, that sounds so wonderful.
Wonder if that would work. That's actually a good idea. You should try it. Let us know
I'm
how that goes.
going to have to now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I digress. She strangled her pet cat.
She strangled her
Slashed a
cat.
schoolmate
Yep.
with a broken bottle,
Mm-hmm.
and the priest said she was possessed and decided to do an exorcism on her.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
What happened next?
So the priest, he's elderly. He can't do the exorcism all by himself. He needs assistance.
Wait a minute. Exorcisms require you to be young?
No, he just happens to be elderly, and he needed people to hold this girl down. Right? He can't do his holy water and all this stuff with one hand and holding her down with one hand. You can't do that. It's
I
against the
got
rules.
you. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You got to have
Makes
three
sense.
assistants. So he chose 3 assistants who had, a lot of experience with other exorcisms.
Mm-hmm.
And they went to this girl's home on March 26th.
Wow. Okay. So this is 5 days after she's like stabbing her parents with a kitchen knife and possessing superhuman strength.
Right.
What the hell is the authorities doing in the process of this? I mean, it sounds like she's done some pretty wild stuff. 5 days.
Well, they probably, I would guess the parents would either hide it or book out of wherever they were and go to Spain. So no one knows where they're at, probably.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, because if she's slashing a schoolmate, the parents of that schoolmate are probably, hell bent on getting some revenge.
Yeah, well, no, this was 1990, so parents were a little more chill back then.
That's true. Maybe they just thought it was part of school.
Oh, it's just kids being kids.
Yeah. Slashed your arm off? It's fine. Just rub some dirt on it. It'll be fine.
Okay.
All right. So
okay. I keep interrupting. I'm sorry. Go ahead, please.
control yourself.
Yes, I'm sorry.
So the priest chooses 3 assistants and they go to this girl's home. As soon as they walk into this house, the girl goes and attacks the priest right away. Then she begins to shake violently and she starts clawing at her own body and making herself bleed.
Dude.
Yeah, so the priest is like, "Holy crap. I got to get my holy water."
Holy crap.
Holy
Seriously?
crap.
Holy crap. Seriously, did you really
I didn't
just
mean to say
that?
that, but it just came out that way.
Let me sprinkle some holy crap on you.
That's a whole other podcast right there. Whole other podcast.
Okay.
So he grabs his bucket of holy water and starts sprinkling it on the girl. They smell like rotting flesh all of a sudden. The room became completely enamored with the smell of rotting flesh.
Gross.
So this girl's laying on this bed. As the flesh smell starts perpetrating the room, a demon emerged from the girl's mouth. And it looked like black, scaly skin, face so horrifying that her mother threw up. And then the demon went back into the girl's body. So as the demon
Okay.
went back into her body, uh, she got really strong again and got loose from the three helpers that were holding her down. Blood began to flow out from her eyes.
Ugh.
Yeah, and she raised her hands to her chest, like chest level. So at that point, her body started shaking really bad. She held her hands out in front of her, and two balls of energy shot out from her hands and hit the priest right in the chest. And the witnesses say that the priest literally exploded in flames.
What?
Yeah. After that, the girl returned to normal. She couldn't remember what happened. There was never another incident after that. So the Spanish authorities acknowledged that the incident was under investigation, but referred all questions to the Vatican.
So did the priest die or is he still
No,
alive?
priest is up in flames. He's gone. Yeah, yeah.
Seriously.
He exploded in
Literally
flames.
killed him.
Killed him. But
Wow.
and I couldn't find anything else that said like the after like 10 years later, this girl's still, freaking out, possessed or whatever. That was the end of the story.
Well, it says the girl then returned to normal.
Yeah, she returned to normal, but wonder what happened 5 years later. Maybe that was the demons that
S-
shot out of her hands or something. I don't know.
Sheesh.
Yeah, but that is The Exorcism of 1990.
Okay, so this little girl and then the demon possessed toaster.
Yes. Which is real and which is fake? You decide.
Huh. I'm
Not you, because you
I'm
can't.
torn. I'm torn. I don't know which one it is,
Yeah.
man. I I don't know that I'm going to be able to win the prize. Oh, I can't win
You can't
anyway
anyway. You're
because
out.
damn
Yeah,
it.
sorry.
Always like that, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So these the two that I have are much newer. I'll just start right here with the first one.
Okay.
I'm not going to say where these news articles came from because again, that would make it too easy to determine which one is true and which one is not. Or maybe they're both true. You can tell us that too. Okay. So, Toronto woman finds knife wielding squirrel in backyard. A Toronto woman captured video when she looked into her backyard and was confronted with a bizarre sight, a squirrel holding a knife. Andrea Diamond, who lives in the Rosedale area of Toronto, said squirrels are a common sight in her backyard, but Wednesday morning she spotted a squirrel that had picked up a paring knife she had left near a tent outside her home. So apparently, knife wielding squirrels are a thing now, Diamond tweeted,
Okay.
along with footage of the squirrel. She said the rodent gnawed on the knife handle for a while before abandoning the tool, and the animal returned a short time later to chew on the knife a little longer. Diamond said the squirrel did not appear to have injured itself or anyone else with the sharp object. So, squirrels that are wielding knives, apparently, this was not Chucky like, where the squirrel decided to go after the inhabitants of the house, but apparently took a liking to the knife and went to town in the backyard.
Was it a butter knife or steak knife?
A paring
A
knife, it
paring
said.
knife. A paring
Yes.
knife is smaller, it's like sharp like a steak knife of smaller, right?
Yeah, yeah, like what you might cut the core out of an apple with.
Yeah. So it's small enough that he could do damage to like a mean raccoon or something like that if he wanted to.
I mean, that'd be one badass squirrel in a
Yeah,
fight,
it would.
right? Like a possum comes after him and he's like, "Stay back, son of a bitch."
Yeah, yeah, I can see that. Hmm. But he just chewed on it.
That'd be pretty. I mean, yeah, all he did was chew on it, I guess.
Maybe he was practicing.
I mean, the story doesn't go on to say if he did anything beyond that. He didn't like say he picked a fight with someone and, you know, West Side Story kind of started dancing around, and I don't know. I mean, it might have happened. I don't
What's
know.
with these reporters? Where's the follow-up on all these stories?
Right?
Come on now.
You would think that they would need something on that.
Yeah, our listeners need closure.
Hell, I need closure.
Right.
It's not even a matter of that. I want to know what happened.
Yeah, if someone knows, send us an email so we can post it.
Yeah. Definitely. All right, so that was a short one. That was a short story, but so was your toaster. So we can go
Yeah.
on here. The second article that I found I thought was interesting. Clairvoyant swine predicts stock winners.
Huh.
All right, so I happen to live in Texas, as we have mentioned before, and there used to be one of the newspapers here in one of the major cities in Texas used to have they used to have a longhorn, a Texas longhorn that they called Rusty the steer.
Yeah.
And Rusty used to pick stocks. And they would, well, the way Rusty picked stocks was they had about 100 different stock symbols out in Rusty's pen. And whichever one Rusty shit on, they would invest money in.
Okay. As good as anything else, probably.
And amazingly, Rusty did a pretty good job of picking
Hmm.
stocks, right? I mean, he did all right. For years, he would beat the market. Now, I mean, he didn't beat the market every year, but he did a pretty good job. So, right here, we got a clairvoyant swine that predicts stocks. Now, how did this
Yeah.
happen? So, this pig is named Combo.
Combo.
And he's a 4-year-old pig. He lived on the Placer farm in Vermont. He This pig always had an interest in wealth. When he was a baby, he used to squeal whenever Dad would read the financial pages.
Okay. All right.
At first, the family thought it might be a coincidence, but Combo has the same reaction when business channels were on TV or when a financial themed movie was on cable.
Like Wolf of Wall
Quote, he
Street.
loved Wall Street's one of them they mentioned. He loved trading places, margin call, boiler room, and especially Wall Street.
Very nice.
Placer's husband, Hugh Chandler, said, Wall Street money never sleeps, not so much. Apparently, he doesn't like sequels. So, the Placer family's realization that their pet pig liked money led to a second realization, which is that he had a talent for making it. So we started to see that certain stocks excited him while others left him cold, said Placer.
Hmm.
Dad began to put a little money in Combo's favorites, mostly as a joke, but they all went up. Then he got more serious about it. So, kind of like Rusty the steer taking a shit on the right stock symbols, they're like, hey, I don't know what's causing the pig to get all excited about this, but if it's working, let's go with it. The patriarch of this family, who passed in 2019, eventually invested more than $300,000 in capital on this pig's picks,
Jeez.
which grew to more than $2.2 million on the strength of Combo the Pig's counsel.
Wow. That's pretty good.
People thought my father-in-law was crazy. I wonder if he invested in GameStop.
He could have. He could have.
I mean, because it wouldn't even take very long for $300,000 to go to $2.2 million had he done GameStop.
Maybe Pigcoin.
Pig coin. Oh my God, that's so good.
He got
That
he
is
got Pigcoin when it first came out.
That is amazing. That
You never know.
pig coin.
All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, so people thought my father-in-law was crazy, said Chandler, and I guess he was, but not because of Combo. he had he had pretty severe paranoid personality disorder. When I first started courting Caroline, he thought I was an assassin. Took him a while to let me in the house. So apparently the father's a little nuts to begin with. Maybe that's why he's hearing the pig talk to him. Maybe that's why he's communicating with the pig, and the pig is saying, here's which stocks to buy. Who knows? Who knows? But the pig apparently has a talent. The man is spotting the talent. Uh, After spotting Combo's talent, the family eventually worked out a system for extracting his predictions. So here, how did they do it? Each Saturday morning, they drew up a list of companies that intrigued them. So apparently, they already kind of had an
Hmm.
idea of which companies they were interested
Yeah.
in, right? They went with Combo into the yard behind the house. When the family names a stock he likes, he pushes a corn cob closer to the house. But when he's cool on a company, he pushes a corn cob away from the
Hmm.
house.
Okay.
Over the years, they've stopped using real corn cobs. We have these rubber ones that are brightly colored. I don't know if that makes it more fun for him, but it's more fun for us, said Placer.
So fake corn cob works just as well as a real one.
Apparently, that the pig does his thing with a real corn cob or a fake one, but the family was kind of like, let's, we're gonna have a little fun while we're making
Yeah.
money. Sadly, it said Combo's talent does not extend to other fields. He's never picked a horse race or a Super Bowl,
Hmm.
said Chandler. So, how did this all start? It says initially Combo was like every other pig on the Placer farm, destined for an abrupt end in a nearby slaughterhouse. They were going to make him into
Hmm.
bacon. But his talent has been his salvation. He now lives inside the main house in a bedroom larger than that of any of the humans. Now, I mean, if I turned 300,000 into 2.2 million, maybe that would garner me a room in the master suite as well. I
You're not
don't
staying
know.
there now?
But yeah, I'm not. No, hell no. I'm not worthy of that. My stock picks have been losing me money here lately, so I
Your wife's putting you out on the
I don't
couch,
know. Yeah, probably the
yeah,
doghouse. I mean, it's what they've been
right?
lately. Um, so when Dad passed, Mom moved into one of the smaller rooms, and Combo got the big room. And they said, and I should say that it's a myth that pigs are dirty. He's extremely fussy. In fact, if there's a sock or something on the floor, he'll push it towards the door with his nose. Now, if I was watching that, I would think maybe that's some sort of a sign that he's trying to pick a stock. But I guess a sock, because he's trying to pick a sock, not a
Well, how do you
stock.
differentiate if does he only pick them by rolling a corn cob around? What if he has a special stock for something else? How do you know?
I suppose if you speak swine, maybe he is trying to communicate other things, and they just haven't figured it out.
Probably. Leaving a lot of money on the table is what they're doing. Yeah.
Probably, probably. So the article concludes by saying we should put some money in the sock market because the pig pushes the socks towards the door. Ah,
Good one.
He then began laughing, could not stop, choked on the gum he was chewing, and had to be taken to the emergency room. So, yeah, that's why Dad wouldn't let him in because of jokes like that. It wasn't because he thought he was an assassin. That's the son in law, whatever. Ridiculous. So, anyway, we got this pig who, interestingly enough, the title is Capitalist Pig.
Capitalist pig. Very nice.
So, capitalist pig. So, whether or not the pig story is true or the knife wielding squirrel, you dear listeners, you can let us know that.
Yes, you decide. Those are hard to pick from too. Seriously, all these stories
Yeah, yeah.
are going to be tough for our listeners. which is what we want anyway. Make it tough.
We want to make you think. We want you to question everything. That is our
It's true.
tagline.
It's true.
So whether or not, this is true, you decide.
Very good.
Question it.
Very good. Those are some good stories. All right, let's move on.
So we had a voicemail
We
this
had a
week, right?
voicemail from a listener named Christy, and she's part of the podcast called Curiosity Killed the Cat, which is a very good podcast. And if you haven't listened to it, you need to check it out. Very good podcast.
All right, cool.
Hello, I was calling because I saw that you guys were taking questions, and I kind of had a general question just on you guys. And have you guys ever worked together on any other show or project, and what made you start your podcast? I know it's pretty wide as far as subjects, which is really cool. I do enjoy listening to it. But that was my question. What kind of made you guys, that light bulb go off, and you guys start to create this podcast together and vibe together? And was there ever a time that maybe you didn't want to do it anymore, or maybe you were going to partner up with somebody else? That's it. Just kind of wanted to get your guys' background. Thank you. Bye.
All right. So thanks for the voicemail. And we'll start. Well, there's like basically 4 questions that she asked, and we'll go through each one of those and take turns answering. First question was, that we'll answer is, have you ever worked together on any show or project, and what made you start your podcast? I think we talked a little bit about this on the last podcast.
Yeah, a little bit about kind of how we got started and how.
Yeah.
Did we really talk about how we met?
No, because we technically working together before. I mean, the first thing that came to my mind was your gourd business that you started.
Oh man, and the lottery too, huh? We did that.
Yeah, that's right.
You were part of the lottery with me.
Why don't you talk about that? That's how we worked together. First of all, we met in 6th grade, actually.
Yeah. Geez, Brian and I have known each other for freaking forever. Yeah. And he partnered with me on the elementary school or the middle school lottery that I had designed. Little trash service. We had all kinds of little money making ventures. Gourd business.
Gourd business.
Yes, where we would we would go. The city that I lived in had lots of wild gourds that grew near the golf course, and you could go pick those things. And apparently, they didn't have those in the city you lived in.
Yeah, not really. I'd never seen any gourds before.
There were many gourds in the city that I lived in. And so I guess transporting goods from one city to another where they're plentiful in one city and scarce in the other, that there's a money-making business.
Didn't we sell them as watermelons, though, too?
I thought we sold them as watermelons. I think, really bad watermelons. They were, when you cracked open a gourd, those things stink to high heavens. They're
horrible. Horrible.
They were pretty bad, but yeah, lots of money-making ventures, putting little cat turds in people's desks. You find somebody you didn't like, and you could kind of hire the cat turd hitman.
We're divulging all our secrets here.
Oh man, probably like after all these years, the elementary school FBI is going to come after us. We knew it was you. That cat turd had your fingerprints all over it.
Well, we worked together for a long time then. A long time.
Many,
right?
many things. Yeah. Yes, we've had many opportunities to do things together. So yeah, we didn't really just meet as adults or whatever. We've kind of known each other for a long time and have been friends through the years. So to work on the podcast, it was something that we both were interested in, and especially since the topic matter that's come up interests both of us. What we talk about is not just something that we talk about because we think it's kind of fun, but we're both keenly interested
Mm-hmm.
in the stuff that we talk about. That's why we talk about it. The Weird News Wednesday is just kind of more for fun, but the rest of the stuff we talk about, we're truly both interested in it, and so yeah.
Yeah, agreed. And that's kind of why, we're both similar. And you asked Christy about kind of the vibe that we have together. And part of that vibe is just we've known each other for, so many years that it's just a natural vibe now, and we play well off each other. And it almost goes into your other question too, is there a time we're going to partner with someone else? And, you know, a lot of people listen to tons of different podcasts, and you can tell pretty easily whether the hosts and the co-host have a good vibe and mesh well together, or they don't.
Yeah.
And if they don't, a lot of people don't listen to the podcast anymore. So if you can find someone where you guys have that magic together, then it makes for a successful podcast and people want to listen. And I think that's what we've got is we play well off each other. We know each other. We have similar types of humor, and it's tough to find that. And, I don't see us bringing in anyone else as another co-host anymore, because we've got a pretty good vibe between me and Scott right now. Would you agree?
Yeah, it's certainly fun, and yeah, you can tell when they throw people together. So you listen to morning shows, or sometimes that they throw people together that don't know each other, and you can tell that people that are very very different, and that's not necessarily bad to be very very different. It's just very very different, and so it seems kind of awkward sometimes. I mean, hell, I guess we're probably awkward too, but in very different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Because we both think that poop is funny. Um,
That'll never get
and
old.
really, I don't know how can you not think poop is funny? I mean, poop and farts and burps. How can you not think that's
I
funny?
don't know.
I mean, I don't know. All the women now have just said, "Forget you
Yeah,
guys.
please don't
You're
stop listening
stupid.
just because of
You remind me of
that.
my boyfriend.
Yeah,
Whatever. Okay."
it's a guy thing. You just got to live with it.
And I don't know why that is, but we all think poop and burps are funny. So whatever. Um,
Oh man. Well, she also
so
asked
what
what we've done prior to this.
what have we done prior to
Yeah, I
this?
think part of it, she said that I sounded like I've been on the radio before. So she was
Oh.
interested in our previous history, if we'd done anything maybe related to the podcast, anything like that, maybe, if we get it.
Well, you did a couple of podcasts
Yeah.
prior to this.
Yeah. I previously did a podcast, and it was fairly successful. That was 8 years ago.
8 years ago. Was it that long
Yeah.
ago?
2013, I believe.
Wow.
I know.
Wow, I didn't know it was that long ago. Wow, time
Yeah,
flies.
it was long ago. And, it transformed. It was called Gun Nerdin', and then it transformed. Jeremy was the guy who created it with me. And now he's doing a podcast called Star Trek Wars, and he's been doing it ever since. And what they do is they
Hmm.
go through and discuss every episode of Star Trek. Him and I think he's got 3 other co-hosts. And so they've done a really good job over, 7
Hmm.
years, 8 years of
Well, that's
podcasts.
cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can still hear some of the Garden Nerd and stuff, and you go back and listen to it, and you're like, oh, what the heck are we doing? Yeah. But, that was before podcasting was where it's very popular now, and
Yeah,
everyone
yeah.
can do it. There's a difference between everyone doing it and everyone doing a good one.
Right.
That's what we try to strive for, is making sure that we've got a good one for everyone to listen to, not just throw out some crap.
And I did something in the past. I was in Toastmasters for a long time, which was kind of, I don't know if anybody's know what Toastmasters is, but kind of a fun little organization. They're all over the world. So if you don't know what it is, just Google Toastmasters, and just about every city has one or more chapters in there. Kind of teaches you public speaking and doing speech writing, impromptu speaking, things like that. I was in that for a number of years, and I did some seminars for a prior profession that I was in, and I had a brief radio show that we would just kind of talk about, without going into what I did, we would talk about newsworthy items of the day. And it didn't last long, but it was fun to do, and enjoyed the preparation for it. Enjoyed the just the whole. It was like a podcast, but it was actually on the radio. It was one of those things where we actually had to pay for the radio spot,
Mhm.
but yeah, it was fun to do, and um, I would call that my precursor to the podcast.
Mhm. Yeah, on the
Enjoyed it.
radio. That's even
Yeah.
famous.
Oh yeah, super famous. We were in Midland, Texas.
That's the mecca of radio, AM radio. Was it AM
Yeah,
or
so
FM?
what it was FM, I believe.
Oh,
It wasn't exactly the big market, but it was still
yeah,
fun. Enjoyed it.
very good. That's cool. Well, thanks, Christy, for the voicemail. We appreciate it. And if anyone else has any more, they can send them in, and we'll play them and answer their questions.
We we totally love your questions. We love hearing from listeners. It's like the highlight of our week when we hear from you guys.
Yeah, it's awesome. If you call the hotline, sometimes it goes right to my work phone. So if I answer it, and you're like, "What the crap? Who's answering this hotline?" I'll just tell you to leave a voicemail anyway. So that's a public service announcement from Brian.
Yeah, well, don't let that stop you though. Call him
Yes,
anyway,
please.
and if you want to actually talk to a real live person, you can do that. Even though really he wants you to leave a voicemail, but call him up and tell him how much you think his voice is sexy. He'll like that. He'll like it.
Yeah, I like that. We'll send out autographs here pretty soon. Probably to just my family. That's all I want. They don't even want it, actually.
Your family's not going to be.
Yeah, I know.
The family's the ones that you expect those people to be the ones that are going to listen to you, and they're like, whatever.
Yeah. What are you doing? That's dumb.
I can hear your dumbass jokes anytime. I don't need to get on the internet and hear them.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. All right. I guess that's it, huh? Is that it?
Yeah, I think that does it for this week. Thank you so much for listening this week. We are now heard in over 28 countries. 28 countries. How freaking awesome is that? We cannot say how thankful we are to you listeners, and we do love you. And please call our voicemail line at 970-343-4594. Call it with your questions, call it with your comments, call it with your complaints. Maybe we'll take a complaint. Whatever. Or go to ourdifferenttake.com or our Facebook page called ODT Nation. Follow us on Instagram, which is where all the action is taking place, at Our Different Take, as things are really taking off and a lot of interesting topics that you won't see anywhere else but on our channel on Instagram. Please send us your comments, suggestions, complaints, or questions to show@ourdifferenttake.com. And don't forget, please, subscribe on Apple Podcasts and look for us wherever you get your podcasts from. We also have a YouTube channel called Our Different Take. Surprise, surprise. Why is it all called the same thing?
Weird.
Please.
Weird like that. I don't know how that happens.
It is weird. What? It's strange. Please subscribe and click on the bell so that you will be alerted whenever a new podcast is released. Just remember, question everything.
Peace.
Have a great one.
Today's promo is for Michelle, who runs 2 YouTube channels, Cosmos and Spread and The Paranormal Experiencer. Michelle is a clairvoyant, clairaudient medium with active abilities beginning at age 3. She then had an out-of-body experience in 2015 during a time of extreme physical illness. Since that episode, all of her prior abilities open wide. She also gained new gifts once entering back into her body. These new abilities are clairvoyance, clairaudience, sensitive, empath, precognition, extrasensory perception, astral travel, and remote viewing. She also gained the ancient ability to crystal scry, receiving past life, current life, and near future information to help humanity navigate through this carnation. The readings she offers are crystal scrying, psychic, and tarot and oracle cards. She currently has a new YouTube channel where she posts free monthly crystal scry readings for all to see at Cosmos and Spread. Cosmos and Spread is for readings only. Her second channel, The Paranormal Experiencer, she explains her paranormal journey since she was a child. All of her posts are true life experiences. The spirit nudged her to go public and enable other experiencers to speak out and release fear. She's also a clairvoyant medium for parachills.com and its sister company, parathrills.com. She assists in missing person cases, hauntings, UFOs, UAPs, cryptids, and much more. So join her at Cosmos and Spread and The Paranormal Experiencer on YouTube as she gives messages to help others along their journey. May these channels inspire many to find their miracle in everything.
So I am naked Bigfoot.
I think this is going to be a good podcast. I feel it.
Because only hookers shave their armpits and their legs.
Roses are red, violets are blue. You can start over.
Well, hello.
Scott.
Yeah, that was so lame. We need to cut that one out. Oh my
Okay.
gosh, cut that out.
You can start from wherever you want.
You know, when I did that intro, I sounded like a hot dog.
A hot dog.
In my mind's eye, that's what I saw, was a little hot dog talking.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Could be a new mascot.
I mean, maybe it is. Okay, so
Yeah, see, they found a baby Nessie in a sink.
Big news. Bigfoot has a brother. Does that scare you?
Meet the gorillas of Walmart. Bigfoot hooker. That Bigfoot was named Helen.
Helen?
Yeah. The Bigfoot hooker named Helen. My floor traders are much more relaxed knowing Helen is nearby, said Morgan Barney's Chuck McSweeney. McSweeney was also on the floor for the crash in 87. He wishes Helen was around back then. I usually don't let them take much of a break during the day, but if they need to spend time with Helen, I let them. She's been a real friend to a lot of senators. There's a lot of ups and downs on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange these days. But at least we know that Bigfoot Hooker is on the scene doing her part to save America.